Hey everybody, welcome back. This is HD, and this is not going to be HD Daily Ladder Tuesday, or I guess it's Wednesday right now. Anyways, I was playing a bunch of games, and I wanted to cast a Daily Ladder game, but I was sucking so bad. I didn't like any of the games I played, and I played probably like 8 or 9 games in total, and none of them were really good, so I just decided to go ahead and cast a pro game for today, and hopefully for tomorrow's, I can get a Daily Wednesday out, or if not, then I'll just cast another pro game. But rest assured, I'll still be doing a nice mixture of both pro games and daily ladders. It seems like a lot of people out there prefer both of them. So yeah, I'll just be doing a nice mix of everything. Now this is going to be a Protoss versus Terran, and it is going to be between two Koreans. We have the yellow Protoss player as ZZayohopros, which I am not familiar with this player at all, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And he is the yellow Protoss at the top left on Jungle Basin. Down in the bottom right, we have oGs.Top. He's the red Terran player. All you guys know oGs.Top. I've casted quite a few games of him before. And pretty solid player in general. I do believe he mains Terran. I don't think he switched race. I believe the person who switched race was oGs.Wind, who switched to Zerg. I might be mistaken though. It's been a while since I've been keeping up with that. So we'll see what happens this game. I do want to say that, as you guys all know, that there is going to be a patch coming out for Starcraft 2 very soon. A lot of cool changes are coming out. I'll probably be doing a patch video when it does hit, and I think it's rumored to come out on Thursday, so I guess we have a day to go, and we'll see if there's going to be a patch tomorrow. And if there is, then yeah, there's going to be a lot of cool changes. I think Phoenixes are going to get a timing reduction on their build time, which makes them even better than they are. Phoenix are really good. But anyways, getting back to this game at hand, we do have oGs.Top opening standard. He has a barracks going down. He has refinery after the barracks. Everything looks good. Probe going to do a little bit of attacking on the command center, which is going to put a dink in its new shiny armor, but that's okay. Back over to ZZayohopros base. He is also opening standard as well. Now this is a set of 2 games. I actually looked up after I got so frustrated trying to find a good daily ladder. I mean, all of them were pretty one-sided. Either I lost or I won, and none of them were really interested. I got so frustrated. I looked for something to cast, and I found this. It is a set of 2 games. So this is the first game, I believe, and then the second game I'll probably cast it either tomorrow, so I'll skip 2 dailies, or I'll save it for the weekend. Well, I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do yet. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. We'll have a lot of games coming out really soon, and it looks like we're gonna have oGs.Top go for a command center. I thought he was gonna do something there, but he is going for 1 barracks into command center. This is a nice build to do on Jungle Basin. The reason being is that your natural expansion is tucked away in the back, and all you really have to worry about are these rocks. But the rocks don't come into play until, I would say, 7 minutes or so into the game, when a player actually has a decent army size. Now it's gonna come to Zayo. Is he gonna go for some kind of 4-gate here? He still hasn't thrown down a tech building yet, and he's got a lot of minerals saved up. He is sending a probe and a stalker out, but the 2 Marines and the Marauders should be able to hold that off. So it's all gonna come down to what the Protoss player wants to do, because oGs.Top has now showed his build. He's gone for 1 Rax, fast expand. He is gonna go for an eco style game. And it looks like, there we go, ZZayohopros will be going for 1 gate into Expo himself. So both these players gonna be waiting it out, and they are going to be sitting down and playing a pretty long-term macroeconomic game. It's one of my favorite games, obviously, because you get to see all the action towards the late game and a lot of APM all over the map. But here we go. It looks like oGs.Top will be going up the ramp. He is not going to engage though, and the reason for that is because ZZayohopros now has 2 sentries on the ramp, and these sentries with 2, and obviously both of these have over 50 energy, and the force field does cost 50. They spawn right away with 50. There will be 2 force fields, probably 3, and that will be enough to hold back the Terran player and not allow him to push forward. So right now oGs.Top will fall back. We are seeing him transition into more barracks, which this is completely standard. This is how Terran wants to play. They want to go for 1 Rax command center, and then they want to throw down a bunch of barracks and just start pumping mass Marine Marauder. That's the basic shoot and go strategy for Terran. And right now, oGs.Top needs to play defensive. You can see he's throwing a bunker up here. Wouldn't be surprised to see 1 bunker back at the rocks as well, which the Protoss player can break down. And really, oGs.Top right now, he's just gonna play the eco game. He's gonna try to sit back and turtle, and it's gonna go on the Protoss player now. The Protoss player looks like he's gonna be going for 3-gate robos, so he is going to be making an attack, and he's gonna try to break the Terran. We'll see how that's going to work out. Now, as you guys can see, it looks like the Protoss player ZZayohopros is going for quick Colossus here. He does have one observer coming out. This is actually really fast Colossus play from ZZayohopros. I would have assumed he was going to be going for Immortals, considering that he got this robotics facility down, but I guess he's decided to change his mind now. Now, either unit does work in Protoss versus Terran. You need more Immortals if your opponent has a Marauder heavy army, but if your opponent has a Marine heavy army, then Colossus is the unit preferred of choice. So I guess ZZayohopros he's not going to pump any Immortals out. He's just going to wait for Robotics support bay to come up, and then he's going to try to get some Colossus out. He is going to need to get all this gas going though. As you guys can see, second assimilator coming up at the fourth assimilator coming up at the second base. And really, ZZayohopros has this observer here, so he sees that there are 2 barracks, 3 barracks with reactor. So that's right there, using the ability of scouting units to see what your opponent is doing. It looks like ZZayohopros is making an attack as well. Lays down 1 force field, beautifully placed. Will be laying down a second one as well. I guess he really doesn't want his opponent pushing out, and he's going to fall back his entire army. Now, I think the reasoning behind this is ZZayohopros is rushing to get his Colossus out. He realizes that he needs Colossus to deal with this mass Marine army. And what I was saying is, because he has his observer here, he was able to see 3 barracks, all with reactors, and he realized that Immortals are not going to work. He needs his Colossus out ASAP. So he moved out across the field with his units to buy time for his Colossus to come out. And I think that was such a beautiful play. As you guys can see now, his opponent oGs.Top, finally the force field's wearing off. He's pushing across the map, but 1 Colossus is out. A second one is coming very soon. Surprisingly, ZZayohopros is not using Chrono Boost on the Colossus or the extended thermal lance, but he does have a ton of sentries. At least, oh, he's actually got 2, so he should be able to force field the ramp quite easily. I don't think he's going to allow that Marine Marauder army to get up here. And of course, that early Colossus is going to provide all the firepower that's necessary for the Protoss player. Now, it looks like we have a factory deciding to float around the map. This is really standard for Terran versus Protoss who go bio. The reason for that is you don't need mech units. You might as well just get the factory so you can get your starports out, and you just lift the factory off and you can use it as a scouting unit. Now, back into oGs.Top's base, he is now transitioning his build. This is such brilliant play. Both these players are basically adapting and transitioning from what they see into what they need to do next to win the game. You guys can see there are 2 starports going up right now. They swapped onto the barracks that originally had the reactors, so we are going to be seeing a ton of Vikings and dropships coming out. That is the deal with the Colossus, obviously. And we're going to be seeing more and more Marauders coming out as well, because all the barracks now are attached to tech labs. At the same time, oGs.Top going to try to buy time for his dropships and his Vikings to come out. We'll be pushing through this backdoor rock. ZZayohopros here needs to get his forces over here very quickly. Note that the choke point right here requires more than 1 force field. This is going to require, I would say, at least 2, maybe 3. But oGs.Top doesn't really need to commit here. He's actually going to go for a drop inside the Protoss main. This is going to force ZZayohopros to split his army in half if he wants to deal with this. oGs.Top here, I don't know why he's going for the pylons. There's a lot of pylons here. I think if we go to his vision, he does, yeah, there we go. He sees there's actually 4 pylons back there. Still powering all those buildings. He is really focusing these pylons down. ZZayohopros finally bringing a couple of zealots. Oh no, the Templar! Oh, that's so much gas just wasted. And meanwhile, back over here, we have the Protoss player fending off the Terran aggression. That was some pretty awesome attack harassment from oGs.Top. I don't think Top really lost much. He may actually get this Stalker out here fine and dandy. No, excuse me, the dropship. He does not get the dropship out there. So, at the end of the day, I think that neither player really doing too much damage. I think both of them are just posturing right now, showing how aggressive they can be, baring their teeth. But look at this. oGs.Top now will be securing his 3rd expansion. And in Protoss versus Terran, you do need to stay relatively even base, I would say. You know, every Terran base is pretty much equivalent to a Protoss. Their units at the end of the game, they really all cost the same. So I think that the Protoss player will need to get a third somewhere, and it looks like he's going to choose to get it here, and I like this. Why would a Protoss player decide to get it here rather than here? I think siege tanks right here can be a big problem if the Terran player did decide to transition into siege tanks, but we'll see what happens. oGs.Top here going for yet another drop inside the Protoss main. But these drops really haven't been too effective, really just killing pylons here and there. What they are doing is forcing ZZayohopros to fall back, deal with continual harass. And let's go ahead and take a look at his player camera view and see exactly what he's up to. Note that he does have a bunch of Templar warping in, and he is now getting Kaidaran Amulet. So, whoa, what is that? We actually have a nuke coming out on the production tab. I glanced my eyes to the top left while I was watching his player view, and I noticed that oGs.Top is indeed going for a nuclear missile. So this could be a very intense game right here. There's the Ghost Academy. Usually Ghost Academy very standard for EMP Shockwave, but building a nuclear missile out of there, this could be some balls to the walls insanity here for oGs.Top. He is going to be dropping off his Marauders once again. These guys have been killing so many pylons. I think they should just be called pylon hunters. Here we go. The Zealots charging into the Marauders, but the Marauders loading up into the dropship. So right now, both these players are just kind of basically trying to macro up, build up their army for the late game. But ZZayohopros has no idea that a nuclear missile is on the way. In fact, the nuclear missile is already complete. We do have 2 ghosts out, and the one thing that it's really going to come down to how, excuse me, there's actually 2 ghosts already out on the field. So it's going to come down to how oGs.Top uses his nuke. Obviously the nuke is not too heavy of an investment. It's 100, but it can do a ton of damage, and it's going to come down to how ZZayohopros defends it and how oGs.Top uses it. Note right here, we have yet another attack. Oh, EMP Shockwave over all the Protoss units. None of them have shields now. I don't even think oGs.Top needs to use his nuke yet. He could just save it for a rainy day. He just did a ton of damage. Note that none of these Templars can use Storm because they just got all their energy drained by EMP Shockwave. Brilliant attack. And it looks like he's just going to go ahead and fall back. Note right here at the top though, ZZayohopros is building a pylon so he can warp in Zealots and attack this 4th expansion of the Terran player at any time that he wishes. And this game is starting to really get down and dirty in the super late game. Note though, the army tabs, oGs.Top is at a huge advantage, 190 over 150 supply. So ZZayohopros taking a pretty big hit in that last battle. He's been forced to morph Archons